Wakey.
Welcome back to I'll Make a Stay Out of You, the podcast where I, Phil, torture my friend Tom by making him listen to Grow Up on repeat for about 45 minutes. Tom, how you doing?
Yeah,
it was good, huh? 50 actually. Okay, well, I underestimated. You know, to be more specific, we watched the second half of the fan meet tonight, which you know if you're listening to this on the podcast feed because it'll be in the title.
Yeah, it's the title.
But yeah, that fan meet, we had 2 hours left, and an hour of it was Grow Up on repeat whistling. So it's yeah, that was you know, when it started, when like the Ments started and they were saying goodbye to the crowd, I genuinely, like, for a moment had like a thought of like, oh, you know, like you've been getting into more of the, you know, whole back catalog of Stray Kids. Maybe some of the slower songs will vibe with you a little bit more if you're in the right mood. So I was literally like, oh man, like I wonder, like when we're recording, I should ask you, like, what'd you think of Grow Up this time? Because it's been a while since we heard it. And like maybe it'll be better. And then it overstayed its welcome.
Like, yeah, by about 50 minutes.
It was unacceptably long. And the fact that like when it like cut out, we were finally like, oh, sweet relief. And then they started to talk again, and then they started playing it again, and I was like, no. Yeah. The only thing that was, you know, the silver lining of the back half of the fan meet was definitely getting to hear them perform Miro. That was great.
Yeah, I mean, Miro is just such a fucking banger.
Miro's a great song. Good one for them to choose. Yeah.
But I think even with Miro, I think my favorite part of this half of the fan meet well, actually, my favorite part of the fan meet and like as a whole was the Star Lost performance. It was just so good.
Yeah.
It would have been I feel like that performance alone would have made it worth it, like going there to see it live.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. Star Lost is an amazing song, and when they perform it live, it's incredible. Love it. Love the song. It's great, man. I mean, and this performance was, perfect. Wonderful. There was something I noticed. When they were on like the little grocery carts going around the crowd.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple of fan meets, okay? I've seen a couple of concerts performed, and this isn't the first time they've been in carts and they go around the crowd while they're singing and stuff, right? So I was enjoying it. I was just vibing and loving it, right? And then we got a camera angle and my whole world got shook up, okay? Because I don't know what I thought, okay? I was under the impression that like maybe these were on a track or they were like being pulled by a rope or something, right? But we got like a top-down angle, and there's just a fucking guy like pulling it along, just like a person just ducked down and like slowly pulling them in this cart. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
I did not catch that.
Oh man, it's so good. It was really funny. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I've seen some that were like actual like construction lifts, and they do have somebody like literally driving a powered thing. So I just thought, I just assumed I was just like, yeah, they're just, so there's something like the concert venue is set up for this. It's all good now. And it was just a dude just ducked down and pulling them along. And I was just like, oh man, look, there's something about like the visual of like a staff person just like hunched over being like, don't let anyone see me. And then like just pulling these like famous men around. I don't know. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, like there were so many good things in this performance. What'd you think of those skazoos coming out, huh?
I mean, obviously that was the best.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah, it was awesome. I don't know if you caught it. Like it like blew up on TikTok. So even if before I saw the fan meet, I saw this, but Bangchan like races over to the like middle stage because Wolf Chan is like jumping and like bouncing a little bit, like woo, like just vibing to the song, and he was way too close to the edge of the stage, and so Bangchan like literally like ran over, grabbed him, and kind of like pulled him back a little bit so that, and then was like, okay, now we can dance.
Right.
So yeah, just a leader being a leader every time. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. That was good. What'd you think of the Muddy Water and Waiting for Us flip that they did there? Was that cool or what?
The what? The Muddy Water?
Muddy Water. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, right.
The units switched, The
units switched.
Yeah. Yeah, we got the 4-man vocal team who originally performed Waiting for Us, performed Muddy Water, and then the rap team that did Muddy Water did the vocal song. I mean, it was cool, right?
Yeah.
Switch it up. We'll switch up.
We'll switcheroo.
Oh yeah, yes. Sungmin's rap was amazing. He did so good.
I mean, we know at this point, right? Or we should know at this point that they can all do everything.
It's true, but actually hearing it is cool. And I like Chan trying to do Felix's part was so funny. He like hammed it up. It was so, like it was so funny. Muddy water. Like I don't know. It was just so funny. Just like I don't know. He couldn't go down. I think he could have gone lower. Not necessarily lower, but like not done it in a silly way. I think he could have, actually done it, but he was just having fun, and it was just great to see that, like, they've worked so hard all year, not just with the comeback, but with touring constantly. It was just nice to just having our little Christopher just doing his thing, just having a good time. So it was great.
I mean, they should. It doesn't have to be serious like perfect performance all the time. It shouldn't be. It should be. They should have a chance to goof around and be silly.
Yeah.
Especially
who was not goofing
at
around?
A fan meet.
Yeah, who was not goofing around was Felix singing those falsetto notes. He was amazing. Felix, well, and Changbin we know can sing well, but I don't feel like we get it enough. And we already got it in the front half a little bit, right? Because we had Never Ending Story, but now we're getting it with Waiting for Us, which like that song has like a very special place for me because when we saw them live, they performed it and it was beautiful, amazing. And they had these like glowing mic stands and everything. It was great. So yeah, anytime I hear that song, like it really takes me back. Like that's the song that does it. Just a 3-hour-long concert. Many songs were great, but that's the song that takes me back to being there. So yeah, it was good. Except for the second half, How do you feel about? I mean, like, not counting the 50 some odd minutes of Grow Up on repeat, but like, what do you think about the Ments where they're like they each get a turn to say goodbye and say a couple things to stay and all that. Like, what are your feelings about this situation that they got going on?
Like taking all that time to draw it out as long as possible.
Yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't really consider it as like they're drawing it out on purpose or anything. But
No.
like, it's just.
Well, okay. I guess there's two sides to it. Like one is okay that you're done, so you could just you're done, and you could just wrap it up and be like, okay, thanks for coming. We love you all. Then leave, right? Or you could just draw it out and really make sure that everyone knows that you appreciate them coming and all that, which is kind of like what they did, right? And I think people will appreciate both sides. I personally would much rather have the okay, thanks for coming later,
Yeah, I mean, it probably, if you are a native Korean speaker or somebody who's been studying Korean for a long time, it's really cool to get the ments and hear, just all the little witty banter that they have and stuff. But like, man, there was whole chunks where it's like they're like talking for like a minute and it just says like or of on the screen, and I was like, oh, well, like,
right,
what is happening? What did somebody choke out the subtitle guy? Like, what? Where are you? Yeah, I don't know. It was a little weird for that, but like, there were sometimes where it worked in our favor, or in my favor, we'll say. Praise myself. Because leading up to them doing their performance of Item, as they were talking, and I had no subtitles to read because they were not keeping up, they had like these little phrases that they were inserting into their sentences that I was like, wait a minute. He just said I them, like, or, like just little bits and pieces from the song Item. And I was like, they're going to play Item next. That's what's coming up. They're teasing it, even though like it was not in the subtitles, but I've been listening. All right, that's what I've been doing at work, right? I get done with ND's stream and then I listen to Stray Kids while I'm working, and then I listen to Mixtapes podcast on the way home. Like, this is my life now. I'm basically fluent in Korean. Yeah. That's right. I've learned the Korean language by simply listening to one Stray Kids album specifically on repeat, and then once it's over a couple of times, I put on my OT8 playlist on shuffle. So I think I've really gained a grasp of the language.
Yeah.
Right? Does that sound right? I don't know.
Yeah, see, I don't know if you can learn a language just by listening to music.
You definitely can't. I mean, I know English, and most of the time when I listen to a song, I'm like, I have no idea what they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah, Google these lyrics, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that big red boot.
Yeah. Okay. I don't want to go into all the details, but if you're listening to this and you weren't here, do yourself a favor and Google Big Red Boot and read the product description on this thing. It is like that person, whoever wrote that, is either on some type of illegal substance or it was written by an AI, because wow. Wow.
Yeah. Does Red Boot is gay? It's a joke just for you and me. Yeah, you guys know. All right, never mind. Oh man, it's like it's really late and I'm totally out of my brain right now. So this is good. I'm really glad that we we did this. I mean, I am glad.
We are around the 15-minute mark, so if you want to just throw Grow Up on loop for the rest of this episode, then we can just go to bed here.
No, let me tell you, like, people who are listening to this have already experienced it, but I do 100% plan to put Grow Up under the whole section of us talking about Grow Up. So, you know, yeah, anyway. I better fucking will. Oh man.
Can they protect us? they wouldn't be protecting us.
Bungshot's gonna protect everyone. He's gonna protect everyone.
Yeah.
He's gonna protect everyone who listens to this podcast. He's gonna protect all the staff and all the stay and everyone. You know? Right?
Wait, how does parody law work for music? You have to recreate it, right? You can't use the original, or wait, no. You can use the original content in parody, right? Isn't that a thing?
Are you saying you want me to whistle into my microphone and just, you know, grab that and put it on repeat?
I'm saying if you were to play Grow Up, the whole thing.
I'm not going to play the whole thing.
Yeah, but like if you were to take a segment just like they did and you just played that on repeat, even if it were like 30 minutes long, because it's in parody, isn't that protected like under parody law?
Yeah, but I am not a lawyer, and nor do I have one.
You should be.
We keep talking about this like someday a large mouse company might come knocking.
Yeah.
And like, I don't have a way, like it's fair use, but I don't have a way to like, not do that. So yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to help us with our upcoming legal fees, go to makeastay.com and go to the Patreon and subscribe.
Yeah, there you go. Put it out there.
Yeah.
Shill.
You can also check out the album page and see what our top songs are from every album if you haven't already done that.
Tom made the website.
And you can join the Discord. There's a Discord link. There's also a link to some other websites that we like, some people that we like, and some other stuff. And
some other stuff.
There's more stuff that I need to add, but I just, I was hyperfixated just enough to get it made and get that album page, and now I haven't returned.
That's how ADHD works.
Yeah.
I mean, like I have been suffering from my ADHD success at work recently because like I've been like jumping around between projects because I have a little freedom right now. And so like I'm just jamming Stray Kids all day while I'm working. And somebody like I was talking to somebody who's like higher up, like I was in like a meeting with like their manager and like them, and like there was like 3 or 4 other people, and I just told them like, yeah man, I just keep looking at these cases until my eyes start to bleed and then I switch.
Yeah.
I think it's funny, you know.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
Yeah. I said something similar to my chief today because she came in.
Yeah.
Because I finished class yesterday on Thursday, right? Like I finished class.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, it was so ridiculously easy. It's just I don't understand how people. I don't want to like talk shit about like students, but like I don't understand how people it's just not hard, and yet people are like, this is hard, and I'm like, how
is there homework?
There's not. It's not really like homework. I don't want to talk shit. Proceeds to call people stupid. Well, I mean, it's just like, you know what man is? You know the command man. Man. As in as in manual, you know, like if you're like, I don't know what to do, but I know, because like the instruction for the practical literally says using grep or like using SSH or using this or whatever to like do everything. if you don't know how to do it, then you just type man and then that command. Man means manual. It literally teaches you how to use those commands if you forgot. You know. Anyway,
yeah,
but
that's true. That does also depend on how like who made that documentation, you know. I mean, like, I guess if you're using like your standard commands, but like, man, sometimes like
man,
have you ever like get somebody who's like bad at notating their code and then like you have to be like, how do you use this API? Like, what are we doing here? Like, what is this? How input what do you mean? Anyway, sorry.
Right.
We digress.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, every time I've ever written anything, I'm always like, comments, this is what this does and why we use it later, you know. And I'm just like, I go overboard with it, and then I'm like, wait, I'm going into so much detail just in the comments alone that I'm never gonna finish this. So
yeah, my comments are longer than my script.
Right. Yeah. But anyway, what I was getting at is, so we finished yesterday, and so like today was the day we were supposed to finish, but I was already done with everything, so I was just like sitting in the office watching TikToks, and my chief comes in and she's like talking to one of the other guys for a little while, and then she like gets up to leave. It's been like 30 minutes. She gets up to leave and she's like, "What are you working on?" And I'm like, just seeing how many TikToks I can watch until I fucking kill myself."
Oh my God. Fucking TikTok is a goddamn dopamine trap. Okay. It's so fucked up. Like, I will sometimes get on TikTok and then I'm like, I fucking hate TikTok right now. I don't want to look at TikTok. And then I close TikTok and then I instinctively tap on TikTok again. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
Dude.
Like, no shit. I've honestly been thinking about uninstalling it.
I do too. It's just hard. Yeah. Like I can, man, I don't know. I can set like a time limit of how long I can use it, right? I can do it for myself. The problem is that like generally even if it's something that I set, like a fucking alarm or whatever, I immediately like if I hit it, if I like I have an alarm, I don't want to like out myself as being like this like rebel or anything, but the more that it's like, hey, you have to do this thing or you can't do this thing, the more I'm like, the hell I can't.
yeah, exactly.
What do you mean I can't look at it? Yeah, I can. Yeah.
Right.
It's bad. It's bad.
It's like when I make deals with myself where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like, if I work out for 30 minutes, then I can have a soda. And then I'm like, you know what? I'll have the soda now so that and then I'll work out. You know, and then I have the soda. And I don't fucking work out.
Oh, you got to get on that sugar-free soda.
We actually have been doing sugar-free for a while. Today's soda run was the exception because we couldn't find the sugar-free variants of the sodas that we wanted. If we had, then we would have got those. I mean, we did get sugar-free Dr. Pepper.
Okay.
But they didn't have sugar-free Big Red. Or if they did, I didn't see it. And but it is funny because we got Anna was like, don't worry. Earlier she said, don't worry, I'll get him more red drinks. So we each picked out two packs of soda. She got like the Voltage Mountain Dew and Strawberry and Cream Dr. Pepper. And I got Mountain Dew Code Red and Big Red.
Just red drinks all the way down.
Just red drinks, yeah.
I mean, yeah, whatever works, I guess.
Also, Rogue said that to limit her TikTok time, she set a parental lock that only her husband has the code for. That sounds like a fucking nightmare for your husband, Rogue. Also, if that were me and Anna did that, if Anna set the lock and she's like, I need more time, I'd be like, fine, whatever. I don't give a shit. Stop asking me about it.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. I mean, you know, we have parental locks on all the stuff for the kids. So like they only have like a small window of the day to be like, all right, it's iPad time, which is generally like it's also set for it's after lunch and I'm a tired adult. So like enjoy your iPad. So I have a break for a little bit of time. Like we schedule it for that. It's perfect. They coincide so often. But you know, like the kids inevitably, especially this summer, because we've been a little more relaxed about it. They're just like, hey, I'm out of time. Can I have 15 more minutes? And I'm like, yes, you can, because I'm still working and Jeanette is taking a nap.
Right. When I was there and I was playing that game with Logan. I don't even remember what it was, but it was like we had to connect. Fuck, I don't even remember. But anyway, at like every 5 minutes, he'd be like, "Oh no!" The iPad would come up and be like, "Oh, you need more time," and then I would have to go ask you, "Can we have more time, Dad?"
Yeah, you know, it's there are occasions like that where it's like I'm not gonna like stop him from having fun with you playing on the iPad, right? Like that seems silly to do.
But if I'm honest, at one point I wish you would have been like, no, that's enough, because like I was really tired of playing that game.
Hey, look, I care more about his experience than yours. I'm sorry.
That's why I didn't complain. But you know, it was just like you can only play that game for so long until you're like, okay, all right, okay. Because there's I mean, you have to have experience with this, like being the parent of children, especially him, because it was a competitive game, not super competitive, but it was versus, like it was me versus him. And
I know exactly what game it is.
The whole time I'm playing, I'm like I have to intentionally play bad to not just fucking stomp him to the ground, you know?
No, I know exactly what you mean. It was the it's a PBS Kids game. It's the Odd Squad game where you're both in vans and you have to collect these artifacts. Yeah. He still likes that game. Yeah. I mean, it is super sweet. I also do that, you know, just, you know, fuck it up so that, because like if we both were making all the correct moves, then it would be pretty even.
Right.
But he will sometimes just like, you get like 5 or 6 movements and he'll just be like, yeah, I'm good with 3. And I'm like, if you only take 3, then I'm going to go faster than you.
You can turn and he's like, okay, I made it to the wall. And I'm like, yeah, no, go down now. And he's like, no, I made it to the wall. And I'm like, okay, if you want me to win, sure, stop there.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just have to let him win sometimes. It's fun. I mean, lately we've been playing the new Kirby game because it has like little brother mode for up to 4 players. So like I'm the main pink Kirby, and then everybody else can I'll just drag them through the levels. Like they don't have to do anything well. I'll take care of it. But so that's kind of fun. But like the first time that I tried to play it with the kids, Michelle was like, I want to be the pink Kirby because I love pink. And I said, it's a bad idea. And I don't remember why I agreed to it at the time, but it was a terrible idea because like we couldn't move through the level. And she was just like, I'm taking pictures, hitting the screenshot button on the Switch. And I'm just like, okay, we're done playing games for the day. Hey, we're done. Yeah. It's good. Yeah. Oh, I just remembered. Okay, in the previous fan meet episode, right? I had said at the very tail end that there was a controversy, but I couldn't remember what it was.
Oh yeah, I saw your little message to production.
So I made a message to myself in that chat so that I would remember for this episode, and now I am. After the fan meet that we just watched, hours later. Later.
Not even a day.
Hours. Because you remember they were talking about that, like it was like 8 p.m.
and then we're gonna go get dinner.
and they were probably going to go have late night snacks or whatever. But like IN, when he was doing his meds, he said like, oh, my parents have to catch the 10 p.m. train, so we can't just stay here all night. They were trying to be kind, like, you all have to catch your bus or your train or whatever, like, so we have to say goodbye. Like that was a big part of saying goodbye, was like, everybody has to get home. Tomorrow's Monday, so you all have to go to work. So, but goodbye, right? They made the whole big deal about it. At 5 a.m., Hyunjin and I think Lino were going into a restaurant, and there were like, I hesitate to call them stays, but like stalking fans who were waiting outside as they were like exited whatever building they were coming out of to go into the restaurant, and they like cheered when they came out, and Hyunjin literally like waved his hand at them and said, go home. Like, he told them to leave. And I'm just like, how embarrassing. Like, it's been too often that there has been people who have interacted with these men and embarrassed me. Because I'm just like, why? Like, I don't know. Like, did you think that if you screamed loud enough, you would have this YN moment where Hyunjin would just fall in love with you instead of going to eat, which is what he was going to do? Like, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it was weird. It was so awkward and weird. But there was also recently a fan call, like a video call, that was super awkward. Where some girl like told Felix to eat her. Is that the one? Is that what she said?
Oh.
It was weird. I got cringed out pretty hard, so I didn't listen to the whole thing, because like people were posting it and commenting on it and being like, yeah, they were talking about like eating desserts or whatever, and then like Felix was like, oh, that sounds good or whatever, and then like, she's also the mommy lady. It's the same one.
I like how. What's the mommy lady?
Okay, all right. So, when you get a fan call, you talk to everyone, right?
Oh,
like you get a couple minutes with everyone.
Yeah.
And one on one of the call, I don't know who was it that she was talking to. Somebody in chat's got to remind me. It was Hyunjin. Okay. She asked him to call her mommy. Mm-hmm. And he like kind of like pushed back on it, if I remember correctly. Like he was like, well, like you're too young. He was like, you're my mother. He's like, you're too young to be my mother. But it was just so awkward. It was so weird. I just like, it's one of the grossest things I'd ever seen. So like, maybe what really happened, I've solved it. All right, get out the conspiracy board. All right, what really happened is that when they were at the fan meet, Hyunjin saw the mommy lady in the crowd, and then went backstage when he wasn't on the stage, and he told them like, hey, like, she's here, so I'm gonna need you to play Grow Up just on repeat. We gotta loop it, keep it going. And like, everyone was tired of it. That's why when it dropped off, he probably looked back at the staff and was like, no, keep it going. She made me call her mommy. We're not doing this. And it's good. Yeah. It is weird. That's a weird thing. I mean, standing outside the restaurant was weird too. Like, I don't know. China's not that far from Korea. It's not that bad of a plane trip, I imagine. So, if she's from China, that's, Anyway, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's pretty gross. There's a lot of people who like do, buy like thousands of dollars of albums. Like we talked about that to like get in the fan calls.
Yeah.
And there's people who like when you see the fan calls, like they'll like the people tend to cover their own face, but like we'll post like a TikTok with like, you know, questions and answers and stuff. And sometimes it's interesting, but most of the time it's mostly kind of just cringe. But I always find it weird when, you know, when they don't cover their face or they lightly cover their face and I can tell who it is. And I'm like, this is just the same person. This person did the last series of fan calls and the one before that and the one before that.
Yeah.
Like it's just the same people getting these fan calls. And it's just kind of weird. But yeah, silver lining, you're right. From the chat is that there was one where this lady had a kangaroo, a little baby kangaroo, and all of them got to see the baby kangaroo, and that was adorable. So that was nice. So I think it was a Wallaroo Joey named Timmy. Yeah, whatever that means. I don't know. I recently watched and I don't recommend anybody watch Alone. It's a show called Alone. It's about camping alone by yourself until everybody else gives up. It's a competition. And I enjoy it, but not because it's a good show.
Wait, how do you camp alone and tell everyone? Because who's everyone?
Okay, so it's a History Channel competition where you have to camp alone in the woods. There's no time limit. It's just you can call up the staff, like they come out for like medical visits to make sure you're alive. But you have like a sat phone, and you could call the staff and say, "I give up. I'm tapping out. I'm all done." And whoever is the last person there wins $500,000.
Okay.
Which is cool. That's a good prize if you can last. But like people are out there for like 70 days.
Can I take my Switch?
Can you take your Switch? I mean, technically, yes. I think you could. You get 10 items. There's like some basic items that they require you to have, and that doesn't count for your 10 items. But anyway, regardless, okay, what I did, because I had just finished a season of Alone, and there's a currently airing season, and so I was like, well, I don't want to start it because like there's too many. There's not all the episodes aren't out yet. But when I looked it up, I found out that there was a season of Alone that was made for Australia where they were in Tasmania, and I enjoyed that. That was fun.
Wow.
I enjoyed. Yeah. You're welcome.
I'm still confused though as to there's multiple participants, but they're alone, so they're like in their own little quadrant.
Yeah, they each get their own little area. They get dropped off in different places. Yeah.
Okay.
And they do have like certain amount of distance they're allowed to travel, so they're like stuck within, you know.
Okay, so they won't like accidentally meet each other.
No, yeah, nobody's ever bumped into each other because they put those lines in the sand, as it were.
Yeah. How do they know there aren't any other people in the forest or wherever they are?
I don't know. I assume they go to places where they know that people don't live. I know that they have like a briefing with like native or survival teachers and stuff to like be like, these are plants that will kill you that are here. These are plants that are okay.
Can they order DoorDash?
No, they can't order DoorDash. Although I saw one person try to call a moose. So and just. They just did a moose call, and they were like, well, I hope they show up. And then the next day they tapped out because they had no food. Yeah. So it's a show. I realized I was while I was telling that story, I was like thinking like, oh man, why did I start talking about this?
Yeah.
And then I realized this is not a good reason.
Okay.
I realized it's because in the Australian version of it, the lady who won caught and ate a wallaby. And it's kind of like a little kangaroo. And there was a little kangaroo on that fan call. So anyway,
okay.
Sorry. Look, I have no control over what I talk about right now because it's like 12:30. So I have lost all sense of that.
Yeah.
It's all good now.
It's all good now.
anyway, the fan meet was pretty good.
Okay, yeah, the fan meet was good. Also, if you're a fucking look, stay. Not all stay. Just you know who I'm talking to when I say that. Stop being fucking creepers. Stop being weird. Leave people alone. Just be like, damn, those Stray Kids, they're really something, huh? And then that's literally it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to say. They are.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't wait outside people's like rooms or restaurants or whatever at 5 a.m. That's fucking weird. That's weird behavior. Yeah.
Yeah, you're weird.
Yeah. and you're weird.
And you should feel ashamed of yourself.
Yeah. It's true. Well,
you're cringe.
You're cringe.
Who
wants to be cringe?
You're a McCringe sandwich from McDonald's.
Yeah. A cringe sandwich. That could be good,
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it was good. It's hard. I thought there was going to be more songs, and maybe we'll get that because I pre-ordered the Maniac tour Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So we will definitely watch that at some point in the future when it comes out, because it's not out yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stream it, and I mean, we will watch it on our own together and for a private performance. But if you want to come and hear us talk about it after, wink, you can go to makeastay.com and join the Discord, and it's free. Like, just make sure that you push all the right buttons to make yourself a Strayaboo, and you'll be in.
I need to revise that, because Discord's been coming out with a lot of like interesting features for like onboarding and stuff and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I gotta play around with it. There's so much.
Yeah, it's true.
Now I'm overwhelmed. Now that I've thought of everything that I have to do, I'm overwhelmed, and I'm not gonna do any of it. Instead, I'm just gonna play Factorio for 17 hours.
Okay, well, you gotta have goals. Okay. Well, we will see you on the next episode. Next episode, we are going to be watching the second episode of the Stray Kids Survival Show, and then after that, who knows? Who knows what we'll do? I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. It's gonna be fun. Mm-hmm. Find out with us. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we watch the second? Oh yeah.
Tom,
no.
You're supposed to pretend we haven't seen.
No, I was just reading chat. I was just reading chat. Gogurt said, "Didn't we already watch the second episode?" No, Gogurt, we haven't. We will in a little bit.
Gogurt.
God.
Yeah. What's gonna happen is we're gonna watch A2K, and we're going to become an A2K fan cast. That's what's gonna happen, right?
Oh yeah, is that new American group?
Well, it's the new American survival show,
right? Yeah.
Their first episode came out.
Yeah,
I did not watch it. Most people are. I've seen like a lot of stay who's just like, I'm not watching this shit because of but. While that is true, like I want to say that I'm more interested in watching Neezy Project with you than this, but I am interested in watching it, even though it is. But that's just because, like, it was my first exposure to Stray Kids was through the survival show, but also because you get like a look at, because it's like a more true survival show. It takes place before they become trainees. I feel like it does a better job of showing like, hey, like, here's what the trainee process is kind of like. Here's what we're looking for in a trainee, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so even for just that, I think it would be educational for us to like see that and then apply that to, how our boys went. So, it's coming down the line.
Yeah. Should we make a new podcast called like Make a Stay Podcast Guys Talk About Other Things Than Just Stray Kids and all the other off-topic shit they talk about on the Make a Stay podcast? Like, that's the whole title? Like a Panic at the Disco song?
It's a good title. I mean, it's a good title. I don't know how I can argue with that. I mean, we could just have a second episode on our main feed, but man, that seems like a real good idea with that title. All right. Before I look, Grow Up hasn't left my brain, so we're just gonna it's still playing on repeat in my mind right now. Like literally is. It's still going. Look, I'm sorry, it's just happening. So we'll see you on the next episode, okay? Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye 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 bye. Anyway, there's a moment where you're gonna hear me drop the clip that I've been playing with that you're gonna have to bleep out or leave in.
I'll leave it in.